Hi, friends, and welcome back to the Nourish with Regina podcast, where we talk about transforming your plate and transforming your life. If you're new here, I'm Regina, certified nutrition coach, wife, mom of 4 adult children, and someone who genuinely loves food. I love cooking, I love growing it, I love trying new recipes, and I love wandering through the farmer's market on Saturday mornings, picking out fresh produce, feed my family, and nourish my body. I love feeding people. I love gathering around the table with family and friends. Food is one of my favorite ways to show love. And maybe that's why I find it so funny that on some days, I absolutely want nothing to do with my kitchen. You know those days. The days when you've already made 1,000 decisions, the days when you've unanswered emails, you've solved problems, you've driven all over town, you've picked kids up and dropped kids off, you've handled your responsibilities, checked things off your list, and somehow dinner is still expected to happen. The days when you open the refrigerator door and just stare. Not because there's no food, because you don't want to think. You don't want to decide. You don't want to cook. And you really don't want to clean up afterwards. You just want nourishment to magically appear. The last few weeks have looked a little different in our house. My husband recently had surgery and won't be driving for a while. He's healing very well, and we're incredibly grateful for that. But life has shifted a little bit. I'm doing more driving, more errands, more scheduling, more of the little things that nobody really notices until suddenly they're your responsibility. And honestly, it's not even that stressful. It's just more. And a few nights ago, I found myself standing in front of my refrigerator after one of those days. Nothing dramatic happened. Nobody was in crisis. I wasn't falling apart. I was just simply tired. And I stood there looking at the food that I had already bought, and I had this thought. It's not that I don't know what to eat. It's that I don't have the energy to execute what I know. And I think that realization is so important because I work with people every day who feel frustrated with themselves, people who say things like, I know what I should be doing. I know how to eat healthy. I know what a balanced meal looks like. And honestly, most of them do. I think one of the biggest myths in health is that people are struggling because they lack information. Now, certainly some people do need education. That's part of what I do. But for many people, especially busy adults, the issue isn't information. The issue is capacity. There's a huge difference between I don't know what to eat and I don't have the energy to do what I know, right? One requires education and the other requires compassion and maybe a better system. As I started thinking about this, I remembered reading about something called decision fatigue. Research have found that every decision we make throughout the day requires mental energy. What should I wear? What should I prioritize? What emails need to be answered first? What bills need paid? Who needs picked up at what time and where? What appointment do I need to schedule? What should we have for dinner? And by evening, we've often made hundreds of decisions. And our brains are tired. Not broken, not lazy, not lacking discipline, tired. In fact, our brains are designed to conserve energy where and whenever possible. So that's actually a survival mechanism. Your brain is constantly looking for ways to make life easier, which is why takeout sounds significantly more appealing at 6 p.m. than it did at 9 a.m. It's not a character flaw, it's biology. And I think understanding that changes everything. Because when we stop viewing ourselves as failures, we can start asking better questions. Instead of, why can't I stick to this? We begin asking, how can I make this easier? And honestly, that's the question that changed my entire approach to nutrition and coaching. Because for years, I thought healthy eating had to be hard. Maybe some of you can relate. I spent years dieting, years counting calories, years measuring portions, years trying to earn health through discipline. I honestly believed that if healthy eating felt easy, I probably wasn't doing enough. And looking back, I can see how much of that mindset came from diet culture. The idea that suffering somehow equals success, that if you're not hungry, struggling, restricting, or miserable, then you're not really trying that hard. But sustainable health isn't built on suffering. I want you to hear that. Sustainable health is not built on suffering, but is built on consistency. And consistency usually looks a lot less glamorous than social media would have us believe. I mean, we're living in real life and we need things that work and nourish us through our real life situations. So sometimes consistency looks like a home cooked meal, but sometimes consistency looks like meal prep and containers lined up in the refrigerator ready to pull out and go. And sometimes consistency looks like standing in your kitchen at 6:30 p.m. saying, "What is the simplest thing I can do right now that still nourishes my body?" And I think that's one of the healthiest questions we can ask ourselves. Because healthy eating should get easier on hard days, not disappear. Think about that for a moment. Healthy eating should get easier on hard days, not disappear. Because if your health plan only works when life is calm, organized, predictable, it's probably not going to work very long, right? If life isn't calm, organized, and predictable, which a lot of times it's not, life is messy, life is exhausting, life is joyful, life is complicated, life can be spontaneous. Our nutrition has to be able to live there too. A few years ago, I started realizing something. The nights that completely derailed my healthy eating weren't the busy nights I planned for. They were the unexpectedly long workday, the doctor appointments that ran over, the evenings when someone needed a ride or plans changed, the days I was emotionally drained and simply didn't have much left in my tank. Those were the nights that got me. And for a while, I found myself doing what a lot of people do. I'd either order takeout or I'd stand in the kitchen hoping inspiration would strike. Spoiler alert, it rarely did. And somehow along the way, I realized I needed a backup plan. I actually needed several because some weeks are just crazy and hectic, and that's how it goes, right? So I started thinking about it like the spare tire in my car. You hope you don't need it, but you're awfully glad it's there when you do, right? And that's when I started creating what I now call my nutrition spare tires. Not my meals for best days, not meals for my hardest days. Yes, meals for my hardest days, the days when I don't feel creative, when I don't feel like I want to cook, when I just want to come home and collapse into my comfy chair. I needed meals for the nights when life has taken more from me than it has given. And what I discovered is surprisingly freeing. Healthy eating becomes easier the moment I stopped expecting myself to perform like a Food Network chef every single night. Because let's be honest, social media has done a number on us, right? We're constantly seeing beautiful kitchens, perfect meal prep containers, gorgeous recipes, fresh herbs sprinkled on everything. And meanwhile, life looks like what is the fastest thing I can throw together before someone starts asking what's for dinner. And that's okay. Actually, I think that's where sustainable health is built. Not in perfection, in practicality. One of the things I often tell my clients is don't build your nutrition plan around your best days. Build it around your hardest days. Because if your plan can survive the hardest days, it'll thrive on your best days. That's worth thinking about. So for years, I built plans around who I wished I was. The perfectly organized person, the highly motivated person, the person who always had energy, the person who never got overwhelmed. But eventually I realized something. That person does not exist. at least not consistently. That the real Regina sometimes gets tired. The real Regina sometimes gets completely overwhelmed. Um, the real Regina sometimes just wants dinner to make itself. And once I accepted that, everything got easier because I could start creating systems that supported the real me, not the imaginary version of me or the version of me I had dreamed up was the correct version of me, but the real me. One of the reasons meal prep has become such an important part of my routine isn't because I enjoy spending hours in the kitchen on Sunday, although I do sometimes. It's because meal prep is one of the ways I take care of future Regina. When I chop vegetables on Sunday, I'm helping Wednesday Regina. When I prep protein, I'm helping Thursday Regina. When I make overnight oats or egg muffins, I'm helping Monday morning Regina. And honestly, I think that's one of the most loving things that we can do for ourselves. We spend so much time taking care of everyone else, especially women. We take care of our spouses, our children, our coworkers, our parents, our friends. But sometimes we forget to take care of ourselves. And here's what I want someone listening to hear today. You are worth preparing for. You are worth buying the berries. You are worth washing the vegetables. You are worth making the smoothie. You are worth spending 15 minutes getting a few things ready the night before to make your tomorrow self happier, less stressed, and more joyful. Not because you're trying to lose weight, not because you're chasing perfection, not because you're trying to earn your health, because you matter. Your energy matters, your health matters, your future matters. And I think that's where stewardship begins. Not with perfection, but with recognizing that the body God gave us is worthy of care. Sometimes, pardon me, a little frog in my throat today. But sometimes that care can look like a beautiful homemade meal, which, like I said in the beginning, is something I love to give my family. Pardon me. And sometimes that care looks like standing in your kitchen after a long day and saying, what is the simplest, easiest thing I can do right now that nourishes my body and my family? And honestly, that's wisdom. We are going to move into the kitchen now so I can share a few of my favorite easy and nourishing meals, those nourishing spare tires, if you will. So let's head on down. We're going to do a smoothie, a pizza bowl, and a quick nourishing dinner that serves the whole family in under 20 minutes. So I'll see you down there. Kitchen now. So if you've ever stood in front of your refrigerator or on your way home from work thinking you just have like a few minutes at home before you have to run off and do something else, I have 3 really fantastic, quick and easy recipes that you can do to feed yourself or your whole family. So the first is going to be a smoothie. And before you're like, how is a smoothie a whole meal? I'm going to show you, because not all smoothies are created equal. But we're going to make one that has protein, fiber, and a little bit of fats in it. So we'll get all those in. It's going to keep your blood sugar balanced. It's going to fill you up, so you're not going to be hungry again in an hour. And it's super fast and easy to make. So for this one, I'm using non-fat Greek yogurt. Just put this all in a blender. I'd probably normally use more yogurt than that, but I seem to be out. So if you want to do about a 3/4 cup to a full cup of yogurt, that would be great. I had some strawberries left in the fridge I have to use up, so we're going to dump all those in there. 1 scoop of protein powder. I use a protein whey isolate. I really like that, and it has no flavor, so I can add it to anything, including like soups or whatever, smoothies. So you're not getting a flavor from the protein powder, but it is 20 grams of protein per scoop. So we're going to throw that bad boy in there. And then we're going to get some power greens in there, about, a nice big handful of them. Now, before you're grossed out, you're not even going to taste those. I promise. I promise. So, and then we're going to do a little bit of almond milk just to make it easier to blend. This is unsweetened original almond milk. You can use regular milk if you like. And this has the 3.5 grams of fat in it. So that's where we're getting our fat from. And we're going to give it a good blend. You're going to make sure you want to blend this really, really good. You might need some help. Push the greens down in there. If you like it thicker or runnier, you can add more or less almond milk. So granted, it's not going to be that pretty pink color. You can put some more berries in if you want, but that's still going to give you your antioxidants, your fiber. You're getting fiber from the power greens, and lots of protein. So this is a great take with you meal. You can drink it in the car, but it does hit those 3 groups that are so important, and it tastes great too. So, all right, we're going to leave that one there, and then we're going to head over to the stove. We're going to be making 2 meals. One is a pizza bowl, and one is chicken teriyaki stir fry. So I'll see you over there. Okay, we're back. And the next thing we're going to be making is some pizza bowls. I love these because they're so easy, so quick to put together. They are delicious. So these are great, if you're in a hurry or just need something quick for lunch, or if your family's ordering pizza and you want a little bit of a healthier option, these are great too. So first we're going to preheat our oven to 350. And then we're going to start. So what you need is a bag of cauliflower, which I will put these websites on under free stuff on my, or put these recipes under free stuff on my website. So we're going to put about a half a bag of the cauliflower in each of our bowls, just like that. And then you'll need pizza sauce, which when you buy pizza sauce, just read the ingredients and make sure there's no added sugar. This easy find. This is actually the Kroger brand, and it's delicious. Or you can make your own, but that would defeat the purpose of being fast and easy. So we're just going to pour some of the pizza sauce over the cauliflower, just like that. I like it saucy. Then we're going to add some toppings. So we have our fiber with the cauliflower. We have the pizza sauce, and then I like to add some pepperoni, and just cut that up here. Dice, just chop it. We'll spread that on top there in each bowl. I wish you could see this. Okay, so we got our pepperoni, right? All right, and then we had tacos the other night, so I had some leftover taco meat. But you can add sausage or whatever you like. And actually, we want to hit that 30 grams of protein. So however you need to do that. And add ham, whatever you like on your pizzas. This is just ground beef. It has some taco seasoning, but we're going to spice it up a little bit. It's fine. And pour that in each one. Plus, this helps use up leftovers. All right. Perfect. And now, whatever other toppings you like, whatever vegetables. I have some banana peppers here. Sprinkle those on top. You know, you can put mushroom, like whatever toppings you like on your pizzas. Just add those veggies to it. It adds antioxidants, vitamins, fiber, all the good stuff. Some green olives. All right. Then top with cheese. If you can get the cheese open. There are no rules. So whatever cheese you like, you don't need a ton, just a little, about a quarter cup on each is what I use. We don't want to hide all the flavors of the pizza. So again, we have fiber, fats, healthy fats, and protein. And then all you do is slide them in the oven. You let them bake for about 15 to 20 minutes until it's all hot and warm and gooey. So those are in the oven. All right. And while those are baking, so we're still in under, 30 minutes for that. Quick, easy, great. I can't wait for you to try that one. So the next thing we're going to do is chicken teriyaki. I'm going to pause it for just a minute and set up for that. Okay, so I just need to say, because I'm not perfect, and we spent this whole episode talking about, crazy hectic, not perfect days. I am a naughty tech wizard by any means, so I thought I was recording the chicken teriyaki portion. I was not. And then I recorded all the stuff of me cleaning my kitchen, which you guys don't want to see. So I'm going to quickly just go over what I use for the chicken teriyaki, even though I don't have a lot of the stuff anymore, but I do have. So what you need is chicken breast. I use a couple of the real big fat ones, or you can use rotisserie chicken and just chop that up into bite-sized pieces too. Or you can take the chicken breast, cut it into bite-sized pieces, and brown it in a little bit of olive oil in a skillet. So you're going to want to make this. This is a one skillet meal, pretty much. It's easy. If you want to serve it with brown rice, go ahead and get a pan of brown rice started. And then the chicken, I mean, really it's 3-4 ingredients if you add the rice. I use the frozen stir fry vegetables. This is the broccoli blend one from Kroger, but really you can use any frozen stir fry vegetables you want. So you're going to brown the chicken. You're going to pour in, I use 2 bags of this, pour in the stir fry vegetables, and then we're going to let all that cook. I put them in frozen. So it's super easy. You don't have to heat these up or anything. Put a lid on it, let it steam for a while. Once they're cooked through, take the lid off, let that liquid cook out, and then you're going to use store-bought teriyaki sauce. I just recommend, if you look on the ingredients, you keep it under 2 grams of sugar. So sorry, this wasn't the cooking demonstration I had hoped it would be, but we're rolling with it because life is not perfect, right? So I'm going to finish up right after this with the segment, finishing it up, and then we'll be back in the studio. So thank you for your patience and dealing with my imperfections. So, all right, here we go. All right, so the chicken's done. The vegetables is steamed. I let that steam about 15 minutes, and then I took the lid off and let whatever water was in there evaporate. And then final step, teriyaki sauce. Just gonna pour that over the top. Get a little bit of water, get all that out of there.
There we go. Now we have a nutritious and delicious chicken teriyaki stir fry. Perfect, perfect. We'll turn that off. Let that simmer just a minute, and then let's check our pizza bowls. Get a hot pad. So should be done now. And there you go. A delicious throw together pizza bowl. So like I said, the recipes for all these will be on the website. We're going to head back up to the studio and finish the podcast episode, but be sure to download the PDF with these recipes on it so you have them on hand for quick and easy dinners, lunches, or breakfast if your day gets crazy and you just don't feel like spending a ton of time in the kitchen, but you still.
All right, that was so fun. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen. It's one of my favorite places to be. And I hope you can implement a few of those or have them on backup for those busy, crazy nights. The whole point of that and this entire episode really is like, why do we create a battle where there doesn't need to be one? I think that's something I wish I had understood years ago. For so much of my life, nutrition felt like a constant fight. A fight against hunger, a fight against cravings, a fight against food I really wanted to enjoy. And now I realize that nutrition works so much better when it feels like a partnership, not a battle. Sometimes the healthiest meal is the one you actually make. I think we underestimate how important that is. Because every time that we nourish ourselves, we're casting a vote for the person we're becoming. Not with perfection, but with consistency. And consistency is often built on meals that are simple enough to survive your real life. You know, as I've gotten older and hopefully a little wiser, I've started noticing something. The people that seem to have the healthiest relationship with food are not usually the people that do it perfectly. They're the people who keep showing up. And I know that sounds simple. And I think there's a lot of wisdom in that. Because for so many years, I thought success meant perfection. If I was going to do it, I needed to do it right. I needed to follow the plan. I needed to stay on track. I needed to hit those numbers. I needed to make all the right choices. And honestly, that worked for about as long as life cooperated. The problem is that life doesn't cooperate. Very rarely does it cooperate. People get sick, schedules change, stress happens, kids need things, cars break down, husbands have surgeries. Life gets lifey, right? And I've learned that if my health only works when everything is going perfectly, then it's probably not going to work very often. I was actually thinking about this while preparing for this episode. I thought about all the years I spent trying the perfect plans, and believe me, I tried a lot of them. The perfect diet, perfect approach. And what I wish I could go back and tell that younger version of myself is this. Regina, you don't need a perfect plan. You need a realistic one. You need something that works on a random Tuesday. You need something that works when you're tired. You need something that works when life gets busy. You need something that works when you want to go out and enjoy yourself and spend times with family and friends, because those days matter too. Actually, those are the days that matter most. Anybody can make healthy choices when they're feeling motivated. The real question is, what happens when you're not? What happens when you're standing in front of the refrigerator and the last thing you want to do is cook? Can your healthy lifestyle survive in that moment? Because if it can, you're onto something. And if it can't, maybe the answer isn't more discipline. Maybe the answer is a simpler plan. That's really what this episode is all about. Not lowering your standards, lowering the barriers. Making healthy eating easier and doing it consistently, right? Because consistency matters. because consistency has taken me further than perfection ever did. And honestly, I think that's true for most things in life. It also keeps keeps it easier on the harder days. I also keep thinking about something else. I know a lot of people listening to this podcast are women, moms, grandmas, caregivers, helpers, the kind of people who have spent their lives making sure everyone else is taken care of. And if that's you, I want you to hear this. You matter too. Not after everyone else is taken care of. Not when you finally have extra time. Not when life slows down. Right now. You matter right now. You are worth buying the berries. You are worth making the smoothie. You are worth spending a few minutes prepping some protein or chopping some vegetables. You are worth having food in your refrigerator that makes your life easier. Not because you're trying to lose weight, not because you're trying to be perfect, simply because you matter. Your health matters, your energy matters, your future matters. And honestly, I think that's what stewardship looks like. Not perfection, not guilt, not pressure, just caring for the body God entrusted to you the best you can with the season of life you're in. Some seasons look like cooking from scratch. Some seasons look like meal prep. And some seasons look like a protein smoothie for dinner. And all of those can be good. Because stewardship and perfection are not the same thing. What matters is that we keep showing up. One meal, one choice, one day at a time. As we wrap up today, I keep coming back to the image of standing in front of the refrigerator. Not because there wasn't food, not because I didn't know what to eat, but because I was tired. And maybe that's where some of you are right now. Maybe you're listening while you're driving home from work. Maybe you're folding laundry. Maybe you're making dinner. Maybe you're avoiding making dinner. Wherever you are, I want you to hear this. You don't have to earn nourishment. You don't have to deserve it. You don't have to have the perfect day first. You don't need to get everything else right before you're allowed to take care of yourself. Your body needs nourishment on hard days too. And actually, especially on hard days. And sometimes I think we make health so complicated that we forget something really important. The body responds remarkably well to simple things done consistently. A little protein, a little fiber, a walk after dinner, smoothie when you're tired, a meal that isn't perfect but gets the job done. Those things matter. They may not feel exciting. They may not feel dramatic, but they matter. And over time, those small decisions become habits. Those habits become patterns. And those patterns become the life we live. And I think that's why I've become less interested in perfect nutrition and more interested in sustainable nutrition. The kind that works on a random Tuesday, or the kind that will survive stressful situations, the kind that can adapt easily when life gets messy. Because life will get messy. And that's okay. Healthy eating was never meant to be something that only exists under perfect conditions. It's meant to support us through real life, during real life, and for our real life. So if you take one thing from today's episode, let it be this. Healthy eating should get easier on hard days, not disappear. Build your nutrition spare tire. Find 3 or 4 meals that you can make with almost no thinking involved. something you can just throw together and it gets the job done. Keep the ingredients on hand. Give your future self a little help, because future you is going to have a hard day eventually. And when she does, or he does, they'll be really grateful you planned ahead. And maybe that's one of the greatest self-care forms that we can give ourselves. So if today's episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with a friend, because I have a feeling there are a lot of people standing in front of refrigerators tonight wondering what they're going to eat. And if you enjoyed the podcast, be sure to subscribe. New episodes are released every Tuesday at 11 a.m. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at Nourish with Regina, where I share recipes, practical nutrition tips, and realistic ways to build healthy habits that I actually fit into real life. And if you'd like support on your own health journey, whether you're want individual coaching or one of my group coaching programs, you can learn more about those at www.nourishwithregina.com. Next week, we're diving into a topic that I'm incredibly excited about. We're talking about Eat for Your Brain, nutrition for memory, mood, and aging well. So we're going to explore how food impacts focus, memory, mood, inflammation, and cognitive health. We'll talk about the connection between blood sugar and the brain, the nutrients that help support healthy aging, and simple habits that help protect one of the most incredible organs God created, our brain. Because the choices we're making today aren't just impacting how we feel right now in this moment, they're helping shape how we age tomorrow. So until next time, I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me, and keep nourishing your body one simple choice at a time.